The room was silent except for the faint hum of lights overhead. Rows of students sat stiffly at identical desks, their gray uniforms pressed into sharp lines, their expressions shifting between anxiety and determination. Some of the faces were human, pale under the strain of expectation. Others were not human at all, green-skinned creatures with black, lidless eyes, towering figures with ridged skulls, delicate, insect-like beings whose limbs twitched with nervous energy. They were the cadets of the Interstellar Academy, brought together from across the galaxy to learn one essential skill: survival. At the front of the classroom, Instructor Vena, tall, silver-eyed, her voice as sharp as glass, spoke with measured calm. Today, you will prove your worth. Build a weapon. Nothing more, nothing less. What you create must be capable of defending your life. You have 1 hour. She tapped a control on her wristband, and the desks retracted into smooth surfaces, offering no tools, no materials, only the barren room itself. A rustle of movement spread through the class. The Ikari student beside the door extended his clawed hands, weaving strands of bioluminescent silk into a bowstring that shimmered like liquid light. Behind him, a Talaran with skin like polished stone began shaping his own arm into a crystalline blade, drawing energy from within his body. A trio of Saraxians huddled together, whispering as they constructed a small plasma emitter from hidden implants. The room filled with a quiet buzz of ingenuity. At his desk, Marcus Hale sat still, his brown eyes calm, his lips pressed into a thin line. He was the only human in this year's class, and more than once, he had felt the weight of being the strange outlier, the one species whose achievements were not measured in biological genius or technological marvels, but in stubborn resilience. He scanned the room, watching his classmates bend physics and biology to their will. For a moment, doubt stirred inside him. Then he looked at the chair he was sitting on. With a sudden motion, Marcus stood, gripping one of the legs. The scrape of metal on metal made a harsh sound as he twisted and yanked until the leg snapped free in his hands. The room stilled. A few alien eyes turned toward him, blinking in disbelief. Without hesitation, he crouched down, dragging the jagged end across the floor until it sharpened into a crude point. He straightened, holding the improvised weapon upright, his knuckles pale from gripping the wood. "A spear," Marcus said simply. Laughter rippled across the room. The Ikari clicked his mandibles in amusement. The Talaran shook his heavy head, muttering in his gravelly voice, "Primitive." A Saracen smirked, tapping the glowing emitter in his palm. "You call it a weapon? You've broken a chair. Nothing more." Marcus did not waver. "A spear has fed and defended my species for tens of thousands of years. It's simple, yes, but simple does not mean weak. It does what it must. Nothing more, nothing less." His voice carried steady conviction, though his heart pounded beneath his uniform. Instructor Vena raised an eyebrow, but her expression was unreadable. "Interesting choice, Cadet Hale. We will see." She pressed her wristband again, and the room shifted, desks retracting into the floor. Walls dissolved into projections of a vast training arena filled with towering drones, each armed with rotating weapons and glowing sensors. The air vibrated with the hum of machinery. "Your weapons will be tested now," Vena declared. "Survive." The first drones activated, gliding forward with whirring precision. Plasma bolts lit the air as Saracen emitters fired. Crystalline blades sliced arcs of light as Talaran cadets charged. For a moment, the arena was chaos, every species unleashing its carefully crafted invention. But the drones adapted quickly. Shields absorbed plasma blasts. Countermeasures disrupted bio-silk bows. Energy weapons sputtered against reflective armor. The cadets faltered, their advanced designs struggling against the sheer efficiency of the machines. Marcus moved differently. He stayed low, his eyes sharp, spear balanced in his hands. A drone loomed toward him, its cannon spinning. With a quick step, he thrust the sharpened chair leg into the gap between armor plates. Sparks flew. The drone shuddered and collapsed, its sensors dimming. Marcus pulled the spear free, already moving again. More drones swarmed. Marcus ducked under a beam, rolled across the floor, and hurled the spear with sudden force. The crude weapon struck true, piercing through an exposed joint. The drone crashed to the ground, lifeless. Around him, alien cadets stared, their own weapons failing while the primitive stick felled machine after machine. The arena roared with sound as the largest drone descended, a towering machine bristling with cannons and blades. Its sensors locked onto Marcus. He tightened his grip on the spear, breath quickening. The other cadets scattered, their weapons useless against the armored behemoth. Alone, Marcus faced it. The drone fired. He dove aside, heat brushing against his skin. He ran, circling, searching for weakness. His heart pounded as he recalled his grandfather's words. A spear is not just for thrusting. It is for strategy. He darted forward, feinted, then struck at the joint of the massive machine's knee. The wood shuddered in his hands, but held. Sparks erupted. The drone staggered. It swung a massive arm, nearly crushing him. Marcus rolled, retrieved the spear, and with a final cry, drove it deep into the exposed sensor cluster. The machine convulsed, lights flashing, then toppled with a crash that shook the arena. Silence followed, broken only by Marcus's ragged breathing. The cadets stared. The Saraxian's emitter lay cracked. The Talaran's blade was shattered. Only the human still stood, holding a splintered spear. Instructor Vena's voice cut through the quiet. "Victory, Cadet Hale." She stepped forward, her silver eyes gleaming with something almost like admiration. "You have shown what the others failed to understand. Technology may fail. Biology may falter, but adaptability and willpower endure. Your weapon was not elegant, but it was effective. That is survival." The alien cadets exchanged glances. Their earlier laughter was gone, replaced by respect. Even the Ikari, who had mocked most loudly, inclined his head in acknowledgement. Marcus exhaled slowly, lowering the spear. His hands trembled, but a smile flickered across his face. Later, when the simulation dissolved and the room returned to its sterile walls, the broken spear was set upon a pedestal at the front of the class. Vena's gesture was symbolic, but powerful. "Let this stand as a reminder," she said. "Greatness is not measured by complexity, but by resolve." Marcus sat down again, his chest still heaving, but pride warming his thoughts. Around him, alien cadets who had once dismissed him now looked with a mixture of awe and curiosity. For the first time since arriving at the academy, Marcus felt he belonged. The chair leg rested upright, its splintered edge catching the light. What began as a fragment of furniture had become a symbol, not just of survival, but of the strength within humanity itself. And as Marcus met the gazes of his classmates, he knew this was only the beginning.